Hey everybody, Cookie here. Last month, Scott, one of our guitar techs, and I were talking about this MAAG EQ4 with its airband that he's seen and has used in the studio. And wanted to kind of know what the big deal about it was, because he said when you set it to 40K and you go full boost on that band at 8.5, somebody told him that you had to back everything else down. Just grab the rest of the filters and just pull it back a little bit. So I didn't have that hardware here. I don't have a lunchbox or anything like that. So I grabbed a trial from Plugin Alliance just to see what this plugin was doing, and I, of course, ran it through Smart. You've seen my process before in other videos. So anyway, let's get right to it. I smarted every position of the knobs because they all have detents, it looks like, from what I see. Let's just go straight for the kill shot here. So here's airband, 40K plus 8.5. So you see what it does? It actually goes up here, and I'm running this at 96K, so we're here right at the Nyquist frequency, right about 48. It's about as high as we're going to be able to go. And you see that at 40 hertz, we're about a plus 14 and change. But the problem is everything else gets boosted up as well, 3.5, 3.6 dB. Let me bring my traces back here. So let's start out when it's at 0. Just a little bit of boost. Not so much, a bit more, adding to it, getting there. You see what's going on here. Major jump when you get to 7. Well, 7.5 actually. Okay. Those are all of the frequency responses from all those. Now, like Andrew Sheps has said before, with analog gear, you kind of get some EQ for free. So if you see what's happening here, this is everything set at 0, but the plugin is kicked in. Once again, this is the Plugin Alliance modeling. I don't have the hardware. Center frequencies, 650 is one of them. 40 hertz down here is another one. I need to shift to my left. You see, so there's like a half dB boost. So it's not totally flat when it's in there. Now let's go on and look at something else here. Let's look at the famed sub range here. Let's just go, let's see, plus 5 on it. Yeah, it's a big boost. You see what happened here? Everything came up. So level always wins, right? Volume always wins. That's all it's doing. Not a big deal. Next up, let's look at the 160 range here. It's pretty wide. Pretty much what you'd expect, but being analog, it's a pretty wide curve on it. So on and so forth. Next up, let's look at 650. Here's one. No major surprises. It's just a wide band, wide Q, right? Just have to cut. Yeah, cut down there, that's interesting. Right, not a big deal. Moving on. We're going to look at the 2.5K air band. See what it does at plus 1. Not a whole lot. 1.5. Let me just drop all these in here. There's plus 8. Again, everything comes up. So when you really go for it and really turn that knob to the right, everything's getting louder. So it must be better, right? It's like 5K. Real subtle at first. So as you can see, there's no magic here. It's just an analog EQ, a couple bands, and a shelf EQ. Big deal. Because realistically, that's what a shelf is supposed to be doing. Now, let me show you this. I have, as you can see in the background here, I have my old 1604 VLZ Pro, whatever they called it back then. Everybody had these things 25 years ago. So let's just look and see what this thing's doing here. A little bit of phase shift up top. I'm going to grab this high shelf, which just says high 12K, kind of like a Neve, I guess. Neves will say 12K. See it? I'm just going to whack it all the way to the top. It says plus 15 at 12. Let's see, what is it actually? It's 12. Yeah, it's about plus 15. Now, how high is it going? Well, all the way up here. So I'm generating pink noise from Smart itself, so I'm not sure if that's where this issue at the Nyquist is coming in, or if it's just the converter. I don't have burls or anything like that here at home. It says 12K on the console, but it's boosting frequencies up above that. That's what a shelf does. If you put a shelf at 1K and boost, it's boosting all the Ks. That's the deal here. Okay, so I pulled up the 40K airband plus 8.5, no other filters engaged. This is the ultimate boost from this plugin, essentially, and assuming the same from the hardware. So as you can see here, big top, minimal phase shift as they were touting about it. Steal this preset, by the way. So I'll cut to the chase and let's just see if we can get the same results from a plugin. Huh. Looks pretty familiar. What plugin is it? Come on down, mystery plugin. Yeah, channel strip. Big boost on top. So I did not use the bottom. Low mid filter at 650 plus 0.1 just to give that little idle boost in there. 8.1K minus 0.6. Q of 0.61. That's to help get that slope correct or closer. Now here's just the high shelf at 21K, 10.9 dB. Now once again, I had to add 3.7 dB just to add the hype that that plugin and piece of hardware was doing. But again, looking at it, there it is. Now if you don't believe that this is actually working through here, let me just turn off this filter. It's totally that filter. So if you just have a stock plugin, there it is. All right, now let's come into another plugin that most of us probably have in our DAWs, Pro Q3. Again, I'm not going to waste anybody's time on generating this in front of you, but definitely steal this preset. Here, let me just mouse over these settings right here. And you got it, because I bypass it, it's out. Turn it on, boom, Bob's your uncle, as they say. Now, if you don't have Pro Q3, don't worry, there's another way around this. If you're in Logic, for instance, I already gave you a Pro Tools standard plugin. I don't think you can get any more standard than this, all right, as far as EQ. Yeah. So all this hype and marketing about, oh, the MAAG EQ4, the airband, 40K, great. Sure, you don't have to have that piece of hardware. You don't have to have that particular plugin. Just steal this preset, and you can see if you actually need that airband yourself. So whenever some plugin or some people are saying you have to have this plugin, it does this magic thing, there's no magic here in this stuff. I mean, it's EQ, it's dynamics, it's saturation, there's harmonic. Come on. And as far as airband, if you're a live engineer and you're trying to get 40K out of your vocal, we need to talk, and we're going to do that in another video later on. But if you watch these videos and you have these guys saying, oh, the airband for mastering or the airband for vocals, simple plugins like this, a shelf is supposed to be a shelf. Oh, I was going to show you something, though. I was going to show you an example of when a shelf is not quite a shelf. When I looked at the UAD native plugins, something that's consistent across all the plugins, they will actually drop their frequency right here at the top. It looks like the Nyquist frequency for 48K. I'm running at 96. Maybe there's something to do with aliasing. I'm not sure, but if you're using the UAD stuff, the native, don't expect to see a shelf going out to 40K on that. Just as a heads up. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I try to do more of these things just to kind of raise your awareness. You don't have to keep throwing money at plugins. Like everybody says, just turn the knob. Spin. If you know what your plugin is doing, or you know what your piece of hardware is doing, that's the biggest thing. Being able to hear an issue in your mix and be able to pull up what plugin or what piece of hardware, so you hear the song like you have it in your head. That's the key. But there is no magic bullet for any of this stuff. A lot of these tools do the same thing. Stock plugins can even mimic the same magic shelf that some of these higher end pieces of hardware or hyped up plugins can do. So decide for yourself if you really need it. Thanks for watching. Until next time.